All right, good evening. It's May 9th, 2024, meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust. Trustees in the meeting. Online, we have Nathan. In the room, we have Paul Armstrong and Jean Landis-Nauman. Didn't see anyone else right now online. This meeting is being recorded by PAC TV. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of the meeting should notify the chair at this time. Not seeing anyone. We'll move to the first agenda item, which is to approve the minutes of the April 11th, 2024 meeting.
Pen and poker. Okay.
Anyone want to venture a
I'll make
motion
He won.
to accept?
Accept the minutes as written.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so vote Nathan,
Nathan, yes.
Paul,
Paul,
Jean, I, 3-0. All right, next is the Kingston Housing and ADU bylaw update. So, couple different things under this. As you know, the ADU bylaw proposal is a warrant article. As I just said before we started the meeting, it's the last article, and the moderator has indicated that he would like to move it up to come right behind the budget. He feels it may have some budget implications. And so we'll have to see if the body is willing to move it up.
Budget implications.
Yeah, he thinks it's going to bring a lot of children and other services required.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how large he thinks these units are going to be. I think most are going to be 1 bedroom. Maybe somebody will want a 2-bedroom, but I think most of them are going to be 1 bedroom. There was
the planning board moving the article.
I believe they are.
Okay.
Yes. There was the video of the moderator and the town administrator reviewing all the bylaw, all the warrant articles. So I sat through that. And for Article 34, which is the ADU change, Valerie, the town planner, was there and explained about it. Then there was a separate video through PAC TV, and it was the town administrator and the town planner specifically going over Article 34, what it means, what it doesn't mean. Valerie had put together a PowerPoint presentation, so I'm not sure if that's going to be presented at town meeting or not, but it was pretty clear as to how, what the current bylaw allows and how this would change that bylaw. It's still going to require planning board approval.
Yeah.
It's not a by right change, which is what Plymouth recently passed. So there is still going to be a good amount of town control over, who can have it where, what it's going to look like. The change basically is that it's now going to be allowed in virtually every zoning area.
Yeah, it doesn't limit lot size to an
Right,
unreasonable amount.
right. And I did sit in on the portion of the planning board meeting where they had the public hearing. Nathan and I had put together a statement, which I read at the planning board public hearing, just saying that we felt that this was a nice change to add some different type of housing in the community without having any major impact. Valerie is of the opinion, as she stated on the video, that she doesn't expect to see more than a handful of applications come in. I guess they've based on the number of people who have been in and inquired.
She had some data too from other towns that had this,
Okay,
local ones.
all right. And she was basing it on that.
On some, yeah, and that there wasn't a big influx. There was some, but not a big.
Yeah.
Because it's a major investment still.
Oh, it is. It's still a major investment, well over 100,000, I would imagine. To
Yeah,
put
more
in
like
it, more like what?
No, more like three.
Three,
Two and a half, yeah.
really?
across.
Okay, I guess it depends on how large it is. I can't imagine people wanting anything more
You know,
than
economy of scale,
400 or 500 square
the
feet.
economy of scale is this, if you make it big, there's a lot of. When
Yeah,
you get it smaller, you have all the same people coming doing all the same stuff,
yeah,
so
right,
the cost per square foot goes.
okay,
Heating systems and a little bigger, a little smaller, but,
right,
you know.
yeah. And so we'll have to see, you know, how this goes at town meeting. I'm hoping that people see that it's a reasonable request. I have been informed that there is a bill in the State House that would make this as of right throughout the state.
Mhm.
So we'll have to see where that goes. I'm not sure, where it is at the moment. I know Amy Belmore from Habitat for Humanity spoke to the new Secretary of Housing. They just recently had a public hearing tour at Massasoit. And she had an opportunity to speak with him about various things, but this came up. So, it's like everything else. The state waits for every municipality to struggle with something, and then they then they come forward and say, oh, okay, well, we'll make it for the whole state.
I heard that they were talking about having it be as a matter of right to take away the town's ability to use a special permit. I don't know if that will happen.
I don't either. I'm not sure that part of it's gonna fly, but I think what is being proposed by the planning board is a slight modification. It's not a major modification.
No, I think it's wonderful. I mean, because there's so few people that could qualify before.
Right. Right, yeah, so we do have a few in town. Not everybody's going to want to have this, but for those who do, they want to move mom or dad closer. Or they got a college kid coming home and the kid wants to have a somewhat, private life. Or, senior that has a big house and they would like to downsize, but they like where they are, so, they
You see whether there's much discussion over the detached, attached change.
yeah, I mean, personally, if I had, I think I think people want to have a little more privacy, by having a detached dwelling as opposed, but I mean, attached is fine too, especially if it's an elderly parent that you want to keep an eye on. So
I
I'm,
wants to keep an eye on you, huh?
but they want to keep an eye on you, yeah, yeah. But I see it as just another type of housing. It's certainly not what we would consider affordable because the homeowner is going to be able to charge whatever they want. But it will be a smaller unit, so the thinking is that the rent would be, commensurate with the size of
I
the
would be
facility.
surprised if there were that many that were done as for a profit, just to have something to sell because of the initial investment was pretty.
Mhm.
But it's a real boon to those people who have parents and need to move out of a bigger house or
Mhm.
inefficient house. So.
Yeah,
Or
or I could, I could
starting
see
out.
I could see a young family buying a larger home and then putting in an ADU, maybe even for an au pair, or just to have rental income to help. So I think there's a variety of people who might be interested in them. I know California has a good number of them, and they're very popular, so. We'll
Mhm.
have to see how it goes. Nathan, did you have any thoughts on it?
My thoughts are there's not a lot of them being built in this area. And what I've seen in California is that the number of applications has increased over the last 3 years since they've made the biggest change.
Mhm.
And I think it's because builders are getting more used to the rules and seeing sort of the path to completing these projects.
Mhm.
So when a property owner approaches a builder and says, this is what I want to do, the builder probably has a better idea, maybe even from personal experience on how to go about the project.
Yeah, and Paul, do you know, would this accommodate tiny houses? Or would that be a whole
I
separate?
think there's a minimum that may be bigger than the tiny house.
Than
But
the
depends
tiny
on that, is it
houses.
not a tiny house?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's where we are with the ADU bylaw. As far as the Kingston housing, I did have a request from one of the selectmen candidates asking about where we were as far as our affordable housing percent. And they wanted to know if the units at the mall were included, you know, how up to date it was. So I contacted the town planner. She got back to me and said that she recently submitted additional paperwork, including the units at the mall, and that she thinks we'll probably be a little bit closer to 5%, but we won't go over 5%. As far as taking a look at the actual properties, she said she has it available. I could come in and take a look at it. She didn't want to release it yet since they hadn't all been approved. So I'll get back to the candidate, you know, with that information. But as of last July, we were at 4.48. So I'm not sure how many the town planners submitted. We were only, what, about 28, 27, 28 from the mall.
Yeah, I thought
It was
there
a 10%.
Yeah, so it might be 28 or 29.
Hmm. All right,
That's quite all right.
wasn't expecting it. Okay, so any comments on that, questions? Okay. Mass Housing Partnership, they did have the listening tour. I sat in on the one for the South Shore. I also sat in on the one for, I think, the Cape and Islands. I just wanted to get an idea of what they were up against. Their situation's a little different, as you can imagine, because they're dealing with seasonal housing issues. And it's, here we go. So I've taken another look at the Housing Institute. It's June 12th and 13th in Worcester at the AC Hotel. There's a couple sessions there I wouldn't mind sitting in, but it's all in person. So I'm going to have to decide soon whether or not I want to go. There is a fee involved that we could pay for out of the Affordable Housing Trust. If anybody wants to go, are you interested?
Probably not.
Okay, Nathan, are you?
No, thanks.
If I decide to go, can you guys
I'll make a
authorize?
motion to authorize whatever expenses you
Okay,
pay for this,
Second.
okay,
whatever that, put it the way you want.
okay.
You could ask them if they have, I take some energy courses online about the mass energy code, and lots of times afterwards, they're still available, you can look at them. They don't, I don't know if they have that for that.
Yeah, this, you know, a lot of the webinars I've been sitting in on, if you register, then they send you a recording of it afterwards. So even if I know I can't physically, you know, sit through a webinar, I'll register and then I'll have a recording to look at. I don't see that this is going to be recorded at all. But certainly anything I pick up, I would bring back. So we have a motion on the floor to authorize Payment,
Reimbursement of expenses to go,
okay,
including mileage.
up to,
How much of it takes?
well, let's set a ceiling, say 300. I don't think it would be more than 300.
400.
Hmm?
400.
400? Are you okay with that, Mr. Second?
Yes, I second that.
Okay. All right, so authorized reimbursement of expenses up to $400 for
Including
attendance.
mileage.
Okay. They made a point of saying that it's right on the train. It's right on the train
Where do you have to pick up the train?
ramp. Probably Dedham. Okay, this is for the 612.
How far is it from the train station to the place?
It says, located along the commuter rail. So must be
What's that?
fairly close. I don't know.
People that live on Grove Street are along the commuter rail, but I know
It's true,
Right.
that's true.
The entire city of Worcester.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a motion to authorize reimbursement of expenses up to $400, including mileage for attendance at the June 12th through the 13th Mass Housing Partnership Housing Institute in Worcester. Have I captured it?
Yes,
Okay, we need a vote. Nathan,
Nathan, I.
Oh,
Jean, I. Okay, thank you. All right. I think I may have mentioned some of the issues from the first session. They say the second session, they had the islands on there too, and obviously they have a very unique housing situation. I just saw something recent, some headline about their short-term housing, and I didn't get to read the article. But it's always been an issue in the seasonal areas. So, okay. Declaration of trust. We have an updated declaration of trust produced for us by town council. And I sent it out to everybody to take a look at. We have an appointment with the Board of Selectmen on May 21st to request that they approve it. If you'll recall, at last year's town meeting, we had the bylaw for the Affordable Housing Trust modified to allow the selectmen to approve changes. And why I was concerned about getting it updated is that we cannot take any official action or spend any major money without having an up-to-date declaration. And as you know, we had gotten a request from the town planner to provide a $10,000 matching for a grant that they're going after for updating the housing production plan. So I'm not sure when she might need that money, but I wanted to get this declaration updated. It hasn't been updated since our inception back in 2017. So
has it been up? Are you meeting with the selectmen because it's been updated? Or,
I now need them to approve the change.
okay,
Okay, so we have
we have a doc. You
we have the document. I sent that to you. Town council updated it to show the current trustees and the current board of select.
And in the future, change, there's more change, the selectmen can approve all this.
Right. Yeah, before we had to go to town meeting,
Okay, so after the board of selectmen say okey dokey,
then
then
this will get recorded.
we have to get it notarized.
I'm not sure about notarization, but it does have to go to the register of deeds.
She's right, then. We'll have to all sign, we have to all sign something.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, so once they approve it, yeah, there is a notary seal for notary here.
Because you could probably leave it at the clerk's office. or something.
Yeah. And then there's room for, let me see, it's just, yes. So the selectmen sign it and then we sign it as acceptance of appointment. Okay,
Now, just out of curiosity, elections in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Will that mean, depending on how the election goes, that the representative from the selectmen will be different?
it could change,
Okay,
could change. Yeah, I think as long as the majority of us are still trustees.
so they could, when they vote to send somebody to be the trustee, then they at the same time can vote to change that.
Exactly.
The same thing, and then you just have to update the back page. Right?
Mhm.
I wonder if you could do it, another document, in a new signature. You have to we get everybody to sign again. I don't know. If there's only one change. You might be able to,
Yeah.
you might be able to just do a change of one member. I don't know, just a thought.
I mean, now that they can do it, it's,
Easy.
yeah, it's fairly straightforward. It's not preparing it for town meeting and explaining it. And
I actually wonder if the Board of Selectmen's appointee needs to be named, because I think that could change anytime throughout the year.
absolutely.
So
Yes.
maybe that position is just listed as, or rather it should be listed as the appointee of the Board of Selectmen.
What was the newest member?
That's a good question, Nathan. Mhm. Okay, all right, so that's May 21. Our appointment with them to have them review and authorize that. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, I don't have any more information on the community development block grants. As you recall, we had approached the county to see if they could apply on behalf of a group of us. But then I sat through another webinar where they said they thought communities could just go together and apply through the state for a block grant. So I'll need to do a little more research on that. And, you know, that would mean we would have to go out looking for other communities that would be interested in doing this. And since we've not had much luck in working with other affordable housing trusts in the area, they
You probably
just,
get just as much support as locally as we do.
yeah, you know, and just trying to get others to at least meet and discuss this. We tried this years ago through Mass Housing Partnership. We had meetings in Hingham, a couple other places, and it just, it didn't gel. So now that the state and this current administration at the state level has renewed interest in housing, who knows? Who knows where that'll go? Okay, textile properties. I don't have any update on that. I did receive something from Habitat for Humanity asking about a property that's for sale. It's 9 Alden Street in Kingston. It's a very small house. I believe that's in the Nook, is it? Okay. And
Who would have thought, that's what they're on the market, 300,000,
yeah, it's 300,000 for what,
800 square feet.
800 square feet.
'Cause I know the house is enough.
Huh?
I mean, it's gonna need a lot of work.
It would need a lot of work, okay. And- Yeah, Amy and I have talked off and on about, how can we move forward with a property in Kingston?
That, that maybe, that's what maybe you're working,
I don't know, but you feel it would require a good amount of work.
like if you did something like they did in Marshall,
Mhm.
depending on what they could afford and what the amount was necessary to fix it up.
Yeah, so I think this is what Amy has in mind, is that the Affordable Housing Trust would purchase the property. And then they would do all of the updates and everything to get someone in there.
I'm always hesitant of being in the construction business and
I
taking
know.
liability for her,
I know,
for a homeowner's warranty from the town of Kingston.
yes, yeah, so,
Now, if the trust got control of a property, maybe then we could sell it to the Habitat program.
they
Because
don't have
typically
money
they
to
would,
purchase, they don't have money to purchase,
oh, okay, they don't typically own the property.
no. No, often they're given the property or at least a piece of land, and then their process is to find a family, and then that family helps with volunteers to build the home.
Mhm.
Remember, we went to, somebody came from Marshfield, and we went to Marshfield to, the way they were getting involved in the actual purchase,
Right,
but I'm not sure it kind of shaped the houses.
right, but they have like a full-time housing person.
I mean, they were able to they have a lottery as far as, and then you find a house and then help.
Right, right, but that's when you have a staff person.
Yeah.
Who can oversee all of that.
Yeah.
We don't have that at the present. Okay, other housing issues. As,
Just,
yeah, go ahead.
if you can scan this and give it to
Okay.
Nathan. It's just a picture of what's at the end of Follow Street. I colored it in myself.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to do extra color, and then this is
Mm-hmm.
this one shows more, the green on this is the town center district, and that piece is the um, Hilltop Club
Right,
right here, and then that's the other stuff there, so in the future, maybe we're talking about having more town center district come down all the way through here and come up like that, just to
Mhm.
encompass that, just so you could see what the
okay,
different ones, but I have to do it the old fashioned way.
okay, all right.
So I'll work on that some more, but just so you can see that there is some potential now. I would do the Hilltop Club and the other stuff,
What do you mean?
as far as the rezone.
Oh, rezoning,
Yeah,
okay.
the whole piece that the back of it's wet, but
Mhm.
there's some good stuff.
So what rezoning would be needed?
Change from R20 to town center.
To town center?
Which has provided the only apartments I can think that have been built in Kingston, were either at the mall or 40B.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were, excuse me, where Hannah's Flowers used to be.
Where what?
In the center of town, apartments in the center of town.
Yes.
There's like 30 of them. That was some backland of the people that live on Summer Street.
Mhm.
The original one was where Hannah's Flower, there was a wholesale flower grower years and years.
Oh, really?
really?
I didn't know that. So I will get this off to you,
Thanks.
okay?
That's something, that one I colored up, this one here is just a blow up from the GIS if you put the wetlands in and the zoning part,
Okay,
that's just right off
Okay.
both of them are right off the town website, but
okay. What is going on with GIS?
what's going on?
Yeah, half the time when you try and go in, it's not available.
Does it say it's not available or you just can't get it to pop up?
It says it's not available. Yeah. So it's happened a few times recently, so I don't know what's
Another-
going on there.
Going to different servers and all that stuff.
I guess. Okay, so, okay, that's the ADU. We did send off our letters. Oh, no, I need to get your permission
Okay.
to send the letter to the planning board saying that we support funding for the housing production plan.
Yep.
We just need, I sent it out to you. I sent it to Val first. She came back with a slight changes. And so I just rearranged the letter. And I just need your approval so I can sign that and get it off to the planning board. I told her we were having our meeting tonight. And I said, is that going to be in time? And she said, yes, that would be in time. So do you recall seeing this?
Yeah, did I see the version before or after Val's suggestions?
I think after.
Okay. Yep, I
If you want, I
really
can-
liked it.
I can read it to you. It just says on April 11th, 2024, the Kingston Affordable Housing Trust voted unanimously to support the town's application for funding from the Community Planning Grant Program to update its approved housing production plan and to provide a 10% cash match for said grant. For Massachusetts Chapter 40B, a housing production plan is, and it goes on and it says, and then if we have one approved and a decision by ZBA relative to a comprehensive permit application will be deemed consistent with local needs under MGL Chapter 40B. So that just means that when we have an approved housing production plan, if we meet certain criteria, then we get, what's it called?
Yeah.
Safe harbor. We get safe harbor. So that's the letter. Are we okay with that?
Yeah,
Okay, so I need a motion on that.
Okay, I'll make a motion
A motion
to send a letter.
to send the letter as read. Do we have a second?
second.
Okay, any more discussion? Take a vote. Nathan?
Nathan, yes.
Paul?
Hold on. Yes, whatever.
Jean, I, 3-0. Okay. Hi,
Hi.
can I help you?
Yes.
Who are you looking for?
I have one for the Board of Health. I do not believe that they're still here.
They are,
Would you care to sign?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to sign?
We'll put it in the
Okay.
box.
Yeah, I can put it anywhere if you'd like, or you
No.
can take it. Okay,
I can send
you'll
it.
sign with your finger right here.
But no fingertip, but
What's your last name?
Armstrong.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll get that.
Was that in the video?
Right, yeah.
Yes, you were.
Yes, forever.
Okay, I also got a request, an email from a resident. She said, she's a Kingston, Mass resident looking for more information on affordable housing. Currently have to be out of my home before September, looking to see if there are any options. Single mother working 3 jobs to still not make enough. Appreciating any help or advice. I referred her over to NeighborWorks.
Good.
Okay. I mean, what does that say about our current housing situation? She's working 3 jobs and she still can't find a place for herself and her family. I don't know. Looking to see if there's any. As you know, town meeting, CPC article does include recommendation to send 50,000 to the Affordable Housing Trust. Can't remember what the moderator said. Last year, he included it in a consent article. He go down through some of them, saying which ones he was going to include in the consent article and which ones he wasn't. But I can't recall what he said. But I think this one goes on the consent because to me, you know, if the CPC, we have a CPC committee that vets all these, makes a recommendation. I don't think, you know, other boards should, you know, have the ability to weigh in and say, oh, we don't agree with that. You know, it's, you know, it's just, it takes away the authority of the committee as far as I'm concerned. And there doesn't seem to be anything controversial on any of the articles this year, right, Nathan? I mean, they're all
Yeah,
approved.
yep, they were all, I think, well received by CPC.
Yeah, because they were all approved, right?
Yeah, I believe that there were 2 applications that sort of didn't end up getting completed. But so those ones were originally on the list, but then not approved, but not voted against.
Right, okay. Okay, so, so we have that town meeting article. So hopefully that'll get passed without much controversy. That would be another 50,000 in our fund. Slowly but surely we'll grow it.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up related to affordable housing?
No,
Okay. Do we have enough to meet next month, or do we want to, you know?
Really not,
Hmm?
yeah. Unless something comes up, I mean, we can always meet if something comes up.
Right, but rather than just meet to meet.
I enjoy your company immensely, but
I enjoy everybody's company, but, you know, I don't want to tie up people's time
Yeah.
either if we don't
I
really
mean, if
have
something comes up,
anything.
if there's something comes up,
Okay.
we're all local.
All right, so,
I would propose we keep the June 6th time slot, and then maybe the like
Yeah, so the
8 or 9 days out, we can decide whether to cancel it or not.
I
My
think
only thought is that there could be something
pop up.
we want to discuss, you know, after town meeting or whatever. So it might be useful to have that time slot. But if we don't need it, I agree that I'm happy to push it off to the next.
Yeah, I think there will be some discussion regarding the article on eminent domain to obtain the property for the new well. But again, the question arose as to how long it would take. Let's say it's approved at town meeting. So then they negotiate, you know, whatever price they do with eminent domain taking. And then it's another 18 to 36 months until it's up and running.
And that's, you're assuming that when the town takes it, that there's no,
No pushback.
yeah, that nobody feels it.
Yeah.
I think there was an update in yesterday's water department meeting. I didn't get to watch it, but did you hear anything about that?
No, I did not.
Okay.
What did you hear?
I just saw the agenda item. There was a representative for that property that was supposed to speak yesterday.
Oh, okay, all right, that's good to know.
Because the water commissioners would still prefer not to have to go the eminent domain route. They're ready to just buy it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really wants to do eminent domain, but
Right.
at this point, we're kind of being held hostage. You know,
Mhm.
every proposal for development of properties is being held hostage because there's no water connection. We do know that the sewer issue will be resolved probably later this year or early next year. But to not have water just stymies everything. Okay, so I'll try and watch that. So I think that'll take up a bit of discussion at town meeting,
Oh, yeah.
and rightly so, yeah. Okay. All right, anything else?
Not for me.
Okay, so town meeting Saturday. See how that goes, then we have the elections on the 18th, and then we're in front of the Board of Selectmen on the 21st. Okay, so I will,
And next meeting, potentially June 6th.
yes. Okay. All right, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second, all those in favor, Nathan,
Nathan, I.
Bye.
Jean, I, 3-0. Okay, so that's 5:45.
No, right.